Welcome back to Real Investing, where we talk about real investing for the everyday investor. I am Tim Herriage with my friend
Ryan Harper.
And our special guest, Luke.
Winter.
I almost said Winters, but it's so cold outside today, I kind of get a pass on that.
Yeah. It's
but it's not cold. You flew in from South Canada?
Basically, Minnesota.
Yeah.
We added 8 degrees after flying 800 miles today.
Added
south.
8 degrees.
Added 8 degrees.
Dude, so it was like 8, it was like 2 degrees when you left your house today?
Basically.
What was the wind chill?
I don't even look. It gets to a certain point and I just check out. Cold is cold. It's not going to be pleasant at 0. It's not going to be pleasant at -10, -20.
Do you just walk outside in a trash bag, or how does that work? I mean, like,
Can I interrupt and just say nobody cares? Let's just get into it.
but I care. But I care.
I want to talk about advertising for real estate.
But we're not going to talk about that first. We're going to talk about, you are an operational assassin.
Ooh.
You have run some companies. I don't know what all I'm allowed to say, but lots of rehabs a year across broad geographies. Biggest lesson you've learned in flipping houses in your career?
The biggest lesson. Give me a little bit more context on that, because I feel like
Regarding project management.
Project management. Okay, good one. So here's a phrase that I think a lot of people don't understand or don't apply the right level of discipline to. For project management, you need to understand critical path. And your critical path is anything that impacts the finish date of your project. And that can be anything. That could be you doing a walkthrough the day after you buy it. Does it take a day to do that? That impacts your critical path, because you're not going to finish the project for another day. And anything that you can grab out of the critical path condenses your schedule. And time is money, especially when you're rehabbing houses. And trying to scale up your operation too, because you usually have a lot of cash in it. So you want to compress that time as much as possible, and you have to look at your critical path. And we can get into like, what is critical path? There's a whole lot of terms around that will help people like pick and choose, like, well, what do you work on first?
So when you say critical path and you say that walkthrough, are you suggesting that you take that out of the path, or are you saying, hey, if you have to do it, but it extends it, maybe do multiple things? Like what are you saying on that critical path? Because like a walkthrough sounds like something you should do.
If you could do it before you buy the house and the clock starts ticking, do it then.
If you can do it on the day of closing versus the day after closing, what he's saying is you now finish the renovation a day earlier.
Okay.
Correct. So anything you can do to compress that critical path, which means multiple trades working on the job site at the same time. So you don't have the painter and then the flooring guy coming in, because there's always going to be a couple day buffer of like, well, I got to finish up this job. I got to do this, right? There's a lot of time lost in the handoffs between trades, between activities. So if you can compress that or overlap that or remove it altogether, you're going to shorten that timeline of your total project.
So one of the things he said that I think at Turnus we're always trying to help our customers avoid is getting real estate rich and cash poor. So what he talked about, time is money, and because obviously you owe me every month, that bill accrues every day. And what happens is people often will say, well, I make X number of dollars flipping houses per unit, and I make Y number of dollars wholesaling. My volume's down. In order to maintain my revenue, I'm going to need to flip more houses. And it is a good conclusion, but they miss the cash conversion cycle planning portion of it, and they don't compound effect the increased inventory and the cash outlay. So said another way, if the average house has $20K of out-of-pocket expense and your business is used to having one at a time, then you're used to basically having 20,000 of your asset base missing. If you go to having 5 at a time, your business now has $100,000 missing at a time. And it's just, if you have the money, great. But oftentimes people don't plan for that. They're like, I'm going to start, and what he's saying is if you can go from a 45 average day, I call it TTL, time to list, right? So like from the time that you close on the property to the time it's listed for sale or rent. If you go from 45 to 42 times 10 units, I mean, you just saved 80 days worth of interest carry, and at an average of $200 a day. I mean, it's just real money.
But I think even more than just that, I think thinking in terms of that for pretty much any business, like you're talking about being an operational assassin, like even for what we do, it's like, oh, yeah, let me be honest, like there's steps that we do in our day-to-day business that because we do it linear, please, let me me the word.
Linearly.
Thank you.
I got you.
In a straight line.
Thank you. There we go. But it's like there's things that we do here that we could have done here, or we don't have to do. You literally can do it like that, and then that would dramatically increase our workflow and speed.
Well, great example is you loaded the vehicle for this offsite shoot yesterday.
Yeah.
Instead of bringing your staff in early this morning to get loaded up, and then you would have incurred 2x the labor today. Right. I would imagine. I know you're coming back to shoot on Friday. Some things. I would imagine if you pack out properly, there's some things you could skip unloading.
Well, because we were going to have a shoot on Monday. That I was like, hey, whatever we don't need in the studio on Friday, Saturday, just leave in the car. So we were going to. So I guess that is kind of the same conversation.
I'll give you a very common example that I hear with rehabbers. They'll typically walk through the house, come up with a rough scope of work, usually to submit it to a lender. They buy the house, and then they go walk through it and come up with the real scope of work. Right?
Yeah. I mean,
right? And they go, well, I probably missed some stuff. But I tell you, nobody is moving more stuff out of that house than what they're absolutely needing in life, which is like a suitcase. You're buying these houses for cash. They're leaving everything behind. You're not going to be surprised on what they took out of the house or what you saw the second time around. When you walk through it the first time before you even own it, come up with your rehab scope of work right then and there. And that's usually 2 to 3 weeks or more before you've actually bought the house. That's going to help you with your budget. Your lender's going to trust you more. You're going to know exactly what your budget's going to be, and you can start lining up trades. So if you know what the heck you're going to do, as soon as closing happens, you're busting down that door to go execute your scope of work.
Because a lot of times investors, they're getting bids after closing. Right, I mean, they start getting the HVAC guy, the flooring guy, even the demo guy or gal over there, and it's like, I mean, hey, if you are going to do your walkthrough on day one, but you need a demo crew there, have them there for the walkthrough, right? Like, get them started and do your walkthrough while they're started, or a trash out crew or whatever.
Who's the local guy that he had a list like every day, and it's like 20 new properties. It's not Randy or something like that. You know what I'm talking about? He's been doing it forever. Anyway, I can't remember this guy's name, but there was a house I went to 15 years ago. I think it was with you, and or it might have been after. But it was an open house, which meant there was 50 wholesalers there, and you're like, I'm not getting
Randy
this one.
Quay.
Randy Quay, thank you. Anyway,
You said open house.
Yeah, so he was the only guy that walked that property with a tape measure and notes, and he ran that house no matter the same way he would do every house, where everybody else is like, this is a waste of time. And I bring that up only because if you just spend the time ahead of time and not just run through the house like you normally would, like I'm not getting this, then you don't have to go back.
Correct.
Spend the 30 minutes then to overdo it, even if you know you're not going to get it, but stick to the process.
You're already there. You already committed drive time.
Right.
Most of the time it's a few hours or half a day. Just come up with the plan. It's 15 more minutes of your time to actually make a decision about it.
What's funny about the light bulb moment about this conversation is it's so simple and it's so obvious, yet it's not.
Correct.
Because again, like the drive time, your time on site, yeah, it's 30 minutes. It's a hassle. Or what if that half a day in the future you have to do it? Mm-hmm. So I think that I wish I would have known that a year ago.
Yeah,
so
the half a day also is on your own dime too. So you're paying interest when you're taking the other half a day to go do it again. Mm-hmm. And I promise you it's more than half a day too in your critical path timeline, because nobody is coming in right behind you to go do a clean out, to come start painting, to come start putting in a flooring. Nobody's coming in right behind you because you haven't made up your mind yet. After you make up your mind, then you're making the calls, and who's going to be like right around the corner ready to jump on that house? Like, not a lot of contractors are going to be jumping on it right away. Like, oh, I'll come by tomorrow.
Not the good
I'll
ones.
come by on Wednesday.
So what other things would you recommend people do even before they have a contract? Because it sounds like that's something you do before you would make an offer. And I understand how ridiculous or much of a hassle or how much work would go into that. But if it saves you down the line, that's huge. But what are some other things you could do before you have a contract or before you even close?
Yeah, the biggest thing is come up with your scope of work if you're going to rehab it. Wholesaling is a little bit different story, but when we're going down the rehab rabbit hole, you really need to have a good plan and somebody who can help you execute that plan. Days turn into weeks very, very quickly, and that's just expensive. It's your margin. So if you look at how much time and attention people put into negotiating the best deal, oh, I got this for $195,000, and then they waste a month in their rehab process, you might as well have paid $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 more. If you can execute it fast, that's your other leg up too, is you can actually afford to pay more than the guy that drags his feet on the rehab.
Mathematically, it's the same cost.
It's the same.
I mean,
It's
coming
out of your pocket.
Seller, you don't know that. You just know you're getting more money.
No, we're talking about so often you'll see someone wait 2 weeks to save like $1,000 on a plumbing bill.
Right.
And you're just kind of laughing because it's like, but your per diems $200 a day, so you just burn $2,800 to save $1,000, and they don't do that math, right?
Yes.
Right, but from a competitive edge, if he knows Tim Herriage is going to take 90 days and he can do it in 75 days, he can overbid on. If you're bidding 100,000, he can say, "Well, I'll give you 105,000," and he'll make the same return that you would make.
Right. It's a competitive advantage.
Yeah.
So let's go further up the funnel for real estate investors, because we talked about the cash conversion cycle of protracted rehabs. Your background is really kind of a chief operating officer, integrator type person for a house flipping operation. What are some ways people can they can manage their cash flow and their lead generation campaigns in order to generate the right leads at the right time in order to keep stable deal flow?
That is the $1 million question. Stable deal flow is difficult to come by, and a lot of people won't commit the capital necessary to marketing to get the result that they want. Everybody wants stable deal flow. Give me X number of deals every month. Give me 5 every month, and I'll be the happiest guy on earth.
Contract a week, 52 deals a year.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Or you get 3 1 week, and then you go 2 weeks and you have 0, and then you get 3 that next week, and it's like, holy
It doesn't
smoke,
matter
what's
because they all
going on?
close on the last day of the month anyway.
Yeah, so let's back up a little bit though. So most organizations are cash constrained. That is why they can't grow to the level that they want to get to. So similar to the critical path conversation, have a plan. Have a cash flow plan. And most people don't. Most people look at the bank account and they go, okay, I think I've got runway for these deals for this amount of time. I'm going to add a marketing channel. And then, because I get a lot of those phone calls, I'm on the marketing side. They go, the sky's the limit. If this is a good marketing channel, I'll spend whatever I need to spend, And I go, okay, sounds good. How's 50 grand a month sound? Well, no, I couldn't quite do that yet. We got to scale up to that. It's like, well, why? Well, we're cash constrained. It's the root of all scaling problems in real estate is cash. But you got to have a plan, and you have to have a written plan. Most good accountants will help you with that plan, but almost nobody puts a good plan together. So your cash out has to be a part of that plan. Obviously, the cash you have in the bank is a great resource, but that already might be committed. So have a cash in and a cash out. It's not your P&L. I promise you, it is not your P&L. Cash in and cash out.
Cash flow calendar.
Yes. By month, right? You don't have to get too granular on it. If you're a smaller shop, maybe quarterly makes sense, but if you're a big operation, you got to be doing that monthly.
I think to your point also about marketing specifically, too many people see marketing as a luxury versus, hey, this has to be a well thought out strategy and necessity for your business. And especially in real estate, it's like, well, I'll just drive for dollars or all this and that. It's like, if you don't have a well defined plan and actually have a budget for that, you're never going to grow to where you could.
I think, was it Henry Ford that said the man that stops advertising to save money is like the man that stops breathing to save energy? Something like that.
I like the quote.
I'm taking that one.
It's some quote, or breathing, stops breathing to save air, or something like that. It's
There's
like,
nothing more true in flipping and wholesaling. I mean,
Yeah.
how many people are selling a distressed house in their life twice? I mean, that's usually a one and done.
In rural East Texas, it seems to run in the family.
Maybe you're lucky to get a referral or two.
Everybody's
got a story about how it happens, but it is not the rule in this industry. Right. It is not the rule in flipping and wholesaling. It's usually one and done.
A lot of people don't go around bragging about, oh my God, I mean, my mom had this house that had roaches and foundation problems, and this Tim guy really ripped me off. So call him. It's just, referrals are great, but it's just not common.
Yeah, you're starting every month from zero, and your marketing is what feeds the funnel. And so you have to do continuous marketing in order to have the continuous deal flow.
So Tim labeled you as an operational assassin.
I love that.
I love that as well.
He's got the reputation with people I know, and I started there because although his core business now isn't his past business, I'm just a firm believer, just like Turnus is found, it's the investor's lender, but it's owned by people that know how to do deals, right? And I just think it's important that your vendors really understand your business.
Well, I think also, we've talked about it many times on this podcast where it's like, when you're starting out, the beauty of the real estate world, the real estate business, is anybody can do it. If you work your tail off, you can be successful. You don't have to be smart. You don't have to be a white dude. You could just have to work your butt off and you can do it. That said, if you want to grow and to be able to be a part of the boardroom or to have a business, you actually have to run it like a business. Part of that business is having operations. Mm-hmm. And like even in my business in media, like we scaled up to about 20 employees and quickly realized, because I was that guy that's like, oh, I've got money in the bank account, cool. And then you realize like that's not actual money, that's just what's in there. And eventually you have a come to Jesus moment and you're like, oh, this sucks.
Right.
But it's because, not having the proper operations, the procedures, SOPs, HR, marketing, accounting, and Goldman Sachs, they call it the bail team, like your banker, your accountant, your insurance, and your legal.
Bail.
But I was like, but again, until you learn those things, or it's like we're talking about the critical path. Until you actually are presented with that information, it's just foreign. But like, obviously, you should have a relationship with a banker. You should have an accountant. You should have an insurance. You should have legal. But until you're like, hey, is this your team? Is this your core team? Like, no, I just, I have a bookkeeper that I talked to 2 years ago. Well, that's probably not really on your team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned earlier you're in the media business. Obviously, I knew that. But why, of all your skill sets and abilities, did you gravitate towards the media business?
First and foremost, I like real estate investors. I like these groups that we're a part of. I love the networking. And in general, I just see eye to eye with these communities.
You're a little tall to be seeing eye to eye. I mean, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm the distracting guy on the podcast.
I love a good dad joke. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But
no, Tim, let's talk about the weather again.
Yeah. So for me, I wanted to be a part of the community. That to me is important. I feel like my track record and reputation is of quality in these circles, and so I wanted to leverage that. But for me, I also want to have an impact on people's businesses, and for me to have the greatest impact, it was using a unique skill set and relationships that I have. And that's bringing TV marketing to flippers and wholesalers. So a lot of people think it's too expensive, it's complicated, and we're just blowing that out of the water. It's not as expensive as what people think it is, and we make it super simple. Within 4 to 6 weeks, you've got ads airing, and you've got people calling you on the phone saying, buy my house. So it's a pretty straightforward process, and we're doing it the best. There's not a lot of competitors out there, and I built an agency that I dreamed of having when I was flipping houses. And I know that's a lot of your inspiration for the grassroots nature of how you do lending, and that's how I built my ad agency. It's like, this is exactly what I would have wanted.
Yeah.
I would have wanted this, I would have wanted this, and I would have wanted this. I want good data. I want a streamlined billing process. I want transparent pricing. I want a good strategy. I want a guy that's been there and done it and kind of seen the world and can provide.
Don't bullshit me.
Yeah, be straight up. And somebody who's been in my shoes and can maybe be a shoulder to lean on if you need a relationship, if you need a lender, if you need a guy for this. So for me, that's how I can add the most value to people. And if you add value, revenue and opportunities come. So that was a pretty straightforward decision for me.
I'd never want to be in the media business.
Harper Belmont, where we do TV and advertising for real estate.
I don't know how y'all do it. No, literally.
Yeah.
I don't know how y'all do it because I can't stand the stupid questions.
Well, we're in different fields though, but like one thing that is stupid questions is like podcasting. Podcasting is one of my favorite topics because people are like, oh, it's oversaturated. There's so many people. Everybody does it. There's this joke of, oh, I'll just start a podcast. And if you look at the stats behind it, it's not as crazy as what people think it is. Because, and I'll just go run through it. And I'll use 2023 numbers just because that's off the top of my head. And 5 million podcasts. Yeah, sounds about right. But only about 350,000 posted in one episode in 2023. So you went from 5 million to 350. And then only about 20% of that posted more than 5 episodes. Mm-hmm. And then it even shrinks further if you post more than 20. So it's like, wait a minute. So why is it everybody thinks that there's all these episodes? It's because everybody tries to do a podcast and then they realize, oh, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of money, and I don't want to do it anymore.
Yep.
And that's the whole point of it. And it's just like breaking through that informational barrier. It takes time, it takes effort.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm sure you have similar conversations.
Yeah. The ones that persevere will be successful.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've seen that as well. And a lot of people that I work with, new clients, will come on board and they'll say, well, I've got, one guy who's doing TV advertising. It's like, where else do you have an opportunity to go have one competitor? One. You go type in sell my house fast for cash into Google. How many people pop up? I mean, it's going to be dozens, like endless. The barrier for entry is very low. So you should be very thankful to have at least one media outlet where you've got one competitor, and that's it. That's going to be you and him. If you guys can both stand the test of time and commit to being successful through that outlet, similar to sticking it out with a podcast. Are you going to have 1 million listeners on day one? No, but maybe by day 1,000.
Well,
Let me say, because I'm not an idiot, and I see the game people play in this podcast world. And they spend a lot of money to pump up their downloads and then try to get sponsorships. And I've told Ryan this 100 times. I don't care about the metrics. I know I'm putting quality content out on our YouTube channel. A lot of them get watched 100 or 200 times. We've got daily content going out that is helpful for the community. It keeps us relevant. It keeps us active. But for me, I can't tell you how many people I do business with that say, I love your videos. I love your content. I keep it up, that kind of thing. And so all the noise of going viral, or like my most viral TikTok had 2 million views. And it's a video where I'm making fun of contractors. because like literally I had a Ring camera on one, and as soon as the boss drives away, 2 of the contractors come and lay down on the porch and go to sleep. And then the boss pulls back up, and like somebody comes and runs and wakes them up, and they all get up and start working. And it was funny. And so like people watch it, and you know, all the people from California are like, it's OSHA. It's got to be hot there. People deserve a nap. You know, that kind of shit. I'm like, no, lady. The boss drove off. They took a nap. Boss got back. They got up. He paid them to sleep. But the point is, I got no business from that. I would rather, we talk about this all the time. I would rather talk to 100 people that half of them want to do business with me than 1 million people that one person wants to do business with.
I love this conversation because it's like, say you're raising $200 million capital, and you're like, and you pay $200,000 to make this epic branding film, and 18 people see it. But out of that 18 people, guess what? You were able to raise $200 million capital. Do you care only 18 people saw it? The answer is you shouldn't.
Yeah, what are my Nielsen numbers?
Right. So, and then another aspect of it, we did a video for a former client, a real good friend of yours, and got 100 million views across multiple platforms. Got them on Dr. Phil's show. I also did another video with this random dude at a random podcast, 18 views. Not 1,800, 18. Dr. Phil, producer, reached out for that guy too. My point is...
What kind of content are you producing?
Well, that guy was the 18 views. That was it was an interview at a Young Republicans convention, and it was.
Who was the other one?
I don't want to say on camera. It's very viral. You love the dude, or they love you, and
I got to find out now.
It's easy. It'll be in the comments. But anyway, my point to that is like you don't know who's watching the videos, you know, and it's like our business is very anecdotal. His is a little bit more empirical because if you spend $100,000, you better be getting $100,001 back in return. Ours is you spend 5, 10, 20 grand producing stuff, and you have this organic long tail. And it's still or the anecdotal aspect of like your friends, your business partners, they like, hey, I love what you see, what you're doing. But there's also that authority side because like if us sitting here, we are forever tied with Luke. Luke is forever tied with us. Somebody Googles Luke, maybe you show up. Somebody Googles you, maybe you show up. So there's that authority aspect of it. And that's the beauty of this, of what we're doing here. And until people can figure that out, I mean, I hope they don't figure it out, and I hope the people that do understand the value.
Well, what I know is from my time at HomeVestors and just talking to people, the TV does reinforce the other advertising mechanisms, right? And that's the other thing is demographics. Having bought thousands of houses, demographics play a large role in who you sell to. Because ultimately you're selling, whether you're buying, we call it buying, but you're really selling to someone in a living room in the old school way, right? Mm-hmm. And there's a certain demographic that buys from you. And for me, it's typically older white men or women. Mm-hmm. Because back in the day, probably be different now, because I reminded them of their grandson. And being a Marine, they had some family member typically in Texas that had been in the military. They identified that. And
you were still a bit more rednecky country. Now you're a little bit more Wall Street.
Right. I drove up in a pickup truck that wasn't $100,000, right? Like It was like I actually still had to like wonder where the payment was going to come from kind of thing. So yeah, it's just I was more relatable, and that was my demographic. I've got some friends my brother, when he used to buy for us, that dude could not buy north of I-30. North of I-30, he felt like they had other options than to sell to us. And just like he couldn't close the deal. South of I-30, he believed in our offer and felt like he was doing a good service to the people. So he would sell it hard and win, right? And so I think that's the nice thing about TV is you really can, like with daytime talk shows and Dr. Phil, You can dial your
Yeah.
audience in and deliver directly to them where they're at.
Exactly.
There's one thing you said just then that I don't know if it's relevant for this conversation, but I would love to spend some time digging into believing in your offer.
Oh yeah, it's huge.
Because if you can't believe in your, because like I've struggled with this in my business. Because like when I first started, like I was like trying to sell a product that I believed in. I knew it would work, but I didn't know if it was priced right. And because I didn't convey that belief or I didn't believe in it, I never got any customers.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, it's been so hard to grow. And I've only been able to grow with like clients that believe in me, maybe not the offering. And now I'm like, I'm such an idiot. The offering that I have is huge and they have to have this. And now the people that I'm surrounding myself is like, oh, okay, this is a little bit different game. So I would love to hear y'all's thoughts on the believing of your offer.
Yeah, no, I think it's very important. And I've heard it simplified that you basically need to believe and sell 3 components. First, yourself. Should somebody trust you? Do they believe in you? The company or organization, what you stand for, what are their beliefs? And third, the service, the product that you're offering. And to go into detail on all of those is very important, and it's going to help emphasize your sales process. And you can start to see too, like, well, if I don't believe in myself, but like I know this is the world's best truck, and I'm trying to sell this truck, but like, this guy can help you sign the paperwork. It's not going to happen, or vice versa. If you don't understand the product very well or don't believe in the company, it's going to fall apart. So I think having those 3 as the focus for when you're talking to people and trying to close is a bad word. I just try and help people and offer them value, but ultimately you do need contracts signed, service agreements signed. You do have to reach a hurdle point. You overcome a lot of resistance, and I think those 3 components really help you out.
Yeah, I would definitely love to connect with you offline, just because like we're in similar worlds.
Yeah.
But just because it's like there's things that you do that I think, oh, I could probably integrate in that. Maybe we could partner on something, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we try and pull it off in a 30-second ad. Why should you trust the person? What's the business? What do you stand for? What are you going to do for me personally? And then how do I get a hold of you? So you would try and pull all that right into 30 seconds.
Like legal world is a disaster when it comes to creative. You know, we've been in our company, we've been tweaking with some ways to do that, but like now on the paid side. So maybe we can like work together on that.
Yeah.
So now the election's over. TV.
Which election, Tim?
I heard there was one last year. I didn't vote. Is TV and the economy's doing bad, and then Dallas Neiman Marcus is shutting down, and like all these like. Not a whole lot of good economic news. Is TV affordable right now? Is it a good time to be in TV? What's that like?
Yeah, I always think it's a good time because not only can you drive seller leads, but it helps build your brand authority across the community. And there's a lot of second order effects of that if you're trying to raise capital.
What is second order effects on that? Like that sounds like a Star Wars thing.
Oh, sure. So people pay money to get money back. They want to buy houses, right? They want leads. That's the main primary value add of TV. The secondary value adds are going to be people see your face on TV. They're going to trust you. It's funny. People think that the stations, let's just say Fox, screens your business before they air your ad. And honestly, as long as your message isn't offensive and your money is green, your ad's going out the door. But watching it as a consumer, you're thinking, oh, wow, this is Tim's business up here. Like, he must be a trustworthy guy. If Fox puts him out there, we're good to go. And that goes all the way to your insurance brokers, your bankers, real estate agents. Like, picture cold calling in your community. You're like, hey, this is Luke Winter. I'm not sure if you saw me on TV, but I buy houses. Would love an opportunity to sit down and talk to you, see if you have any off-market properties or pocket listings. That's going to be a lot easier conversation than if you weren't on TV or they didn't recognize the name or the face or the business.
So what's it cost for me to get DFW investors on TV in Dallas-Fort Worth?
Dallas is a big market.
Yes.
So I would recommend most smaller markets, we're going to start with a monthly budget. Now, plan for 3 to 6 months of runway. A monthly budget.
Never do any marketing you're not committed to for 6 months.
Yes. Yes. Small markets around $5,000 will get you a good volume of ads, and you'll be relevant. A larger market like Dallas, 10,000 will be a better starting point. If you
Would it work?
Twist my arm, could we do 9,000? Yeah, sure.
Would 10 work?
Yeah.
Does that include you?
I have nominal management fees.
It's on top of the 10.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Nominal.
No. And I ask because this is. So I'm 46, and all of my people I went to high school with, and most of the people I know are, obviously 46, which means their parents are in their mid to late 60s, some of them 70s, right? And I've been noticing the number of referrals I get of specifically like a Facebook message I'll get from someone I went to high school with. Hey, my grandmother passed away. Hey, my grandfather passed away. Hey, we had to move my mom into a home, And I was just thinking as you were talking about the second order, I was thinking, man, this sounds so off. Like that'd be 150 grand a year. It's the way I look at it.
Yeah. Do you think you'll get 150 grand back in deals?
I know I would.
Yes.
I mean, right? I mean,
absolutely.
It's just. In hearing you talk, like I'm literally, even though I keep saying I've shut down my wholesale business, my real estate business, but my wife loves to flip houses. Like she just loves to flip houses. And we are still growing our rental portfolio, so that would be fun.
That'd be a heck of a lot of fun.
And I could be popular again. I used to be popular. I'm just kidding.
You'd be more popular.
Yeah, right?
It's maybe a good kickstart to the presidential campaign if you ever want to.
You could not, there's no amount of money that would ever get me in politics.
I don't know.
I've got way too many skeletons in the closet. That would be the shortest lived campaign ever.
Yeah.
So it's
well, the thing is because a buddy of mine's like, I've always seen you as being more of a political figure because your skill set is very people. Like I just see you as like my buddy Tyler. He's like, I just see you. I think you could be in politics. I'm thinking. Yeah. I don't know if my if I can't get past a credit report, I don't know if I could pass a a political scandal report.
So all right, so you're in media mainly, TV mainly for real estate investors. You're going to expand into home services. What does the rest of 2025 look for you?
Yeah, so we're doing. I'm glad you brought that up. We're doing a soft launch for other home services businesses. It's an identical model. You want to meet a homeowner. Most of these guys are doing belly-to-belly sales for roofing, siding, windows, HVAC, electrical, plumbing work anyway, just like we would be doing to go buy a house. It's a lot of times the same demographic, older people with maybe some money. We're looking for distressed homeowners, but it's going to land on a very similar set of eyeballs. So the model works well, very scalable. So with the right operator behind those businesses, it can be the gasoline to those fires for sure. So we're doing a soft launch on that. 2025, I got to hire some help likely. I've got a couple all-star media buyers and me, but we will get to a point where I need account managers and looking forward to the point where I can grow a team and build that culture. I'm building this business for the long haul, the absolute long haul. So it's about relationships, doing good business, and doing everything I can to keep my clients happy and to keep them profitable. So that's what it looks like right now. So whether we grow fast and double this year, that'd be great, or grow slow. I'm in it for the long ride and just want to enjoy it.
Anything else you want to say?
No, I'm good.
Well, I really enjoyed sharing a room with you at the last boardroom in San Diego.
Likewise, Tim.
And
Likewise.
it's really cool to have you in this group. And thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
But thank you.
It's a good meet you.
All right. Oh, you can shake? Yeah. That's it for this week. We'll see you next week.